welcome to episode 751 of Hard Factor. It is Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. I'm Will. We got Mark, Pat, and Wes is back.
The prodigal son.
All right.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
Returns.
How you doing?
Yeah. Thanks for covering for me, gentlemen. I thought today was 7:50. I guess I messed up.
No.
I mean, for you, it might be.
It's like 6:90 for me.
Well, we did. Well, Wes, we tried to do that. We did that with 700
69.
for you. We did it.
Yeah.
We did 700 the next day,
And we did
but
500 for Pat.
We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it twice.
Listen,
in a row.
I don't.
For
700,
1,000,
750.
For 1,000, if we're not all on it, we're just not even releasing it until all four can do it, right?
There you
So,
go.
there you go.
Okay.
And it's coming. It's coming in about a year from now.
Yeah, we're gonna be there soon.
Yeah.
These episodes are stacking up. Today, we're talking some more Afghanistan. Hopefully not forever, but a little bit more today. Billionaires going to the United Kingdom for a bunch of stuff, and then chicks. Most importantly, chicks.
Yeah.
Chicks. Bro.
Rich chicks.
Rich chicks.
OnlyFans, rich chick. We're taking a little dive into the world of OnlyFans, ladies,
damn.
and all the cash.
Let's just do that. Let's
Pat's
do that all.
videos got
Let's
me
do that all.
Fast
episode.
forward to the end of the show.
Yeah.
We could just put Pat's video on repeat. We'll be all right.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. Actually, there's chicks at the top of the show too. So
Oh yeah. Bookend it. Sandwich us with chicks.
Welcome
Let's
back.
hold it in. Contain us.
I'm getting pretty antsy over here. Before we hop in, though, you can listen to the Hive Hour right now on patreon.com/hardfactor. Talked a little Busch Gardens, crypto, and getting fatter on there.
Yeah.
And some Afghanistan a little bit.
It's
The
good
British kid. Mark, did you see about the British kid who's hiding out in Afghanistan? Or-
Yeah, I mean,
Here, he
it's
takes
hard
the
not. It's hard not to make fun of him because he like into the wilded himself.
He's an idiot.
I don't want to make fun of him too much, but the guy's an idiot. Yeah,
Oh, make fun of
he's
that
doing
guy.
he just went over to Afghanistan like
He's
a
doing
week
it for
ago.
attention.
Yeah, and then he wanted to like document it. Now he's like, I'm really fucked here. I'm gonna die. Yeah,
Lord Myron or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, the end of the wild guy was like trying to like do something, like live without currency or something. I don't know. I was a little high during the
Both
movie,
poorly
but
planned.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot like going into Alaska in the winter, just hopping into Kabul as the Taliban rolls in. Green Room app by Spotify. Download the app, follow the hosts, get on there tomorrow for What the Fuck Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Jobs, bosses, job stuff.
Craziest
stuff.
job story.
Craziest job story.
Crazy. Nice. Anything else?
Yeah.
No, man. Let's just do the news.
Let's do the news. Cup of coffee in the big time is up first.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
Holidays, history, trending news. Holidays for August 17th. It's Baby Boomers Recognition Day. It's also my mom's birthday, so happy
Oh.
birthday, Anita, my favorite baby boomer.
There you go. Happy birthday, Anita.
Happy birthday.
Shout out Anita.
Anita. All right, it's also Balloon Airmail Day. Airmail
What
Day
the fuck does that mean?
doesn't mean anything. Balloon Airmail.
Whoever gets the letter gets the
What
letter.
the fuck does that mean?
It's like when you send a message to somebody across the street with a balloon, maybe.
No, that'd be
No,
impossible.
bro, it's like a message in a bottle thing, but in the air. So you like tie a letter to a balloon, you let that fucker go, and then it comes down, and
It's like
someone's
a time capsule that lasts for
like a
2
time-
seconds.
Nothing like a time capsule, more like a message in a bottle.
Oh, okay.
You guys
what
never
said.
tied a sign that said like "fuck you" on a balloon and let it go, so when the
Yeah.
person
Or-
finds it, just says "fuck
No,
you."
man, that was
You suck, trust
You were
me.
an angry child.
No, I never.
Well,
did
there's a
that.
day. There's a day for the angry children. Balloon Airmail Day. Didn't know. Meaning of is day, which also
Okay.
this day sucks.
Okay.
These holidays are horrible. National Number 2 Pencil Day. National Black Cat Appreciation
That's
Day.
the worst type of cat.
Oh, I got a
There's
story
the
about
ones.
Black
Those are
Cat
the ones
later.
that give you bad luck.
That's stigma, Mark.
It's also I Love My Feet Day. Nonprofit day.
Shout
Thrift
out half our Discord for the feet day.
Yeah, right. Nonprofit day, thrift shop day, and vanilla custard day. So August 17th, probably the strangest collection of holidays around.
Anyone
Love
out there
the
that
thrift
has a
shop.
foot fetish, join our Patreon at patreon.com/hardfactor. We'll start a
Birds of a
Discord foot fetish thread.
You're not that you'll get what you want, but you'll be around
You'll talk
your
about
brethren.
it. Yeah.
No, there's some chatter.
You
feels
community.
You could chat some feet in there with a couple of guys. Today in history, August 17th. And I'm just going to do 1 year because it was a big year for August 17th. In 1945, George Orwell's Animal Farm dropped, and Indonesia declared independence from the Netherlands. I think it's the Netherlands, but yeah.
Okay.
Fact check me if I'm wrong. Moving on to the trending news. And Wes, here we go with the chicks. Number 4, Bella Hadid is modeling the new wet clothes designs from DePesta. Some kind of fashion. There it is. It's inspired by tears and breast milk that can make clothes look wet on women. So,
What are those wet breasts?
yeah.
She should be called Bella Indeed.
Wait,
Bella Indeed?
you're gonna have to break down what this is, Will, because it looks just like a shirt that got wet.
Yeah, no, DePesta again is the designer, and it's the wet design, and it's inspired by women's tears and breast milk that could be expelled from their body naturally for any number of reasons.
Totally not cum on the chest.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Right, because it happens to be a shirt inspired by women's tears and breast
white
milk
shirt.
that's made just for dudes. That's a see-through shirt
Yeah,
to get
that's
dudes
white.
horned up
Yeah.
to celebrate women. I don't know.
But it's celebrating
Suspect.
women. No, that's milk and tears, Pat. What are you talking about? It's not.
That's bucket water.
It's not lube.
Who got someone just throwing buckets at her?
What's the bucket for, Wes?
Just get her wet, buddy.
Some guy off the side. Some guy standing off to the side with a bucket,
Yeah.
just doing his job.
All right, tears.
He's just always mopping, waiting for the right opportunity.
You might want to check into it. These wet pieces, though, they are like thousands of dollars each. But
So you're saying
they look pretty good.
it looks see-through. It looks like it's wet, right? But it's not wet. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
Wait,
Okay.
it looks exactly like it's wet.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not wet. Okay.
Again, inspired by breast milk.
Breast milk and tears. Here, got it.
You have me
Yep.
fooled.
All right. Number 3, Lizzo addressed the haters after her Rumors music video with the pregnant Cardi B. I don't know if you guys seen that one. It's something else. It caught the attention of mean internet commenters everywhere. People being like, congrats to the key grips who really had to secure the harnesses on the set.
Oh, come on.
Other stuff
Leave
like
Lizzo alone.
I mean,
Right.
America is so fat. America is just so fat. Like, you can't rip on. Let's just stop it. I feel like every 6 months there's a headline like Lizzo's addressing the haters again.
Yep, it trends every time.
She needs to stop addressing the haters. Like, she needs to stop looking at the comments, I think.
That is
Yeah.
funny though. The key grips are heroes. That's really fucking hilarious.
Poor Lizzo,
A
man.
little inside.
The pulley guys are just monsters on that shoot.
But Lizzo said there's more types of hate, about whatever else. Her video being too provocative with Cardi B, of course. Like, Cardi B is the same way as Lizzo. Lizzo says it's fat phobic, it's racist, it's hurtful, and she hopes the internet commenters will just give it a rest already, which I'm sorry to tell you, Lizzo, but the haters will never, ever stop on the internet. But,
No.
fuck them. So
Fuck them, Lizzo.
Fuck 'em.
Do your thing.
Man, but like, this has been like an escalation, right? Because it was like, it was like WAP, right? To Lil Nas
right,
X.
it feels a lot like that, right?
To now, it's just like, who's going to take it the furthest? I didn't see the Lizzo video yet.
This isn't the furthest. It's just Cardi B's pregnant, and she's
Yeah.
got like her boobs painted gold, and like Lizzo's just like she's in like the Hercules gold, like the Hercules singer like outfit, and she's with other like big women dancing next to a pregnant Cardi B. It's not that crazy.
That's cool.
They know what's going to happen when they put something like this
Yeah,
out.
look, people have been wearing outfits like this since like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Like, I like big butts. Like, nothing really has changed that much. People,
Yeah,
The butts have
it's all
gotten
good.
bigger.
Yeah, and people
Lizzo's,
talk shit.
but not everyone's.
Right, and people talk shit. And Lizzo, you're famous and rich, so fuck 'em.
Dude, she's
Yeah,
so
fuck 'em.
good too, man. Her music is awesome.
Yeah, people are loving this song. 99% of the comments are like, I love the song. Number 2, White Lotus. What's White Lotus? I don't know what it is, so I'm not.
HBO TV show. It was
Okay.
six part series with Steve Zahn. Like the wife from Friday Night Lights,
Connie Britton, bro.
Connie Britton.
Coach T's wife.
I knew you guys
Yes,
were into it, so I was hoping you'd have.
I watched
have
it
all
with
the
my wife.
details.
We liked it a lot. It was a frustrating show because nothing really happened, and then episode 3 and 4 really kicked ass, and then like nothing really happened in the finale. It's a dark comedy making fun of rich people at a Hawaiian resort, and a bunch of like funny stuff happens.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm in. Did Mike White created it, right? The guy
I liked it.
that did School of Rock with
Yes.
Linklater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the biggest complaint against it is like nothing really happens because nothing really happens, but it's like a dark comedy, irreverent, making fun of rich people.
There's no storyline.
I mean, there's character. It's a character-driven thing, but like it's not super conclusive. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Nice. No spoilers there.
No.
Worth a watch though, if you got that HBO. Sounds like, right? You'd say
I liked it. A lot of
you'd
people on the
say
internet.
worth
A
a
lot of people on
watch.
the internet disagree with me. I liked it. I think the critics liked it. I don't know.
Okay. Trended
HBO
massively.
fucks. HBO consistently just fucks.
Oh, it's a well done show. Yeah.
They just fuck out content right in your face. That
Well-
you can't argue with.
Oh,
They're the
Jennifer
best
Coolidge-
apps for sure.
I forgot to mention Jennifer Coolidge. She's probably the craziest part of the show. Her characters.
But the app itself sucks. Like HBO Max has the best content as far as like what you can watch on it, but the app is terrible.
Let's not get into the app. It's not about the app.
Well, every time the thing's like, oops.
Well,
I gotta
remember
go
it
back.
was
You
like
gotta
6
keep
apps.
playing
It was
again.
like HBO
Yeah, I
Go,
think they've merged
HBO
them
Now,
now, yeah.
HBO Max.
Oh, they
it took them
merged
like a year and a half.
Merged
They're
them
working it
poorly.
out. The content is king. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
The kinks are also king for the HBO Max.
True. Give it a shot. Give it till episode 3.
If you can even get there with the app, am I right?
There'll be a lot of pauses. How long are those episodes?
Yeah,
You better have multiple devices.
it's like Apple Podcasts.
All right. Number 1, and we're going back to it. Hopefully, we're not going back to it all the time, but definitely today. Biden, Afghanistan, C-17s, the 25th Amendment, and Camp David all trended leading up to and following President Biden's speech on the status of the American evacuation in Afghanistan on Monday afternoon. And I'm not going to play any clips from it, guys, because I know that we all watched it live. So I don't feel like there's a need to set it up here. But basically, it seems like we all kind of agreed that his goal was sort of to focus the blame of the poorly executed exit on the Afghan government that fled and the Afghan
people that can't
soldiers.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right,
troops. Yeah.
who refused to fight
Air
for
troops.
themselves, right? He kind of claimed.
The Afghans.
Yes.
Yes, they wouldn't fight for themselves against the Taliban, and that's sort of where he wants to
They're
shift it on.
pussies. They're government's quitters. They don't
They
know how
ran.
to fucking learn. They can't learn trainings.
Told a
That's the
couple
vibe I got.
fibs.
Yeah.
Also, this is like you getting your buddy all hyped up to be a boxer, and he's like, I don't know if I can box, but he's like a bigger kid in your grade, and you're like, you could totally box, bud, and you hype him up and you train him, and he's like, I'm kind of getting the hang of this, and then you just don't go to the boxing match, and you set him out there by himself. That's what it's like. That's what the U.S. did,
Yeah.
and they're like, wait a minute, can I even box? I don't. You were supposed to bring my gloves. I don't have my gloves. So like we were training the Afghan army to do this, but like we were also shorting them on ammo. So like
Yeah. And we took away their air. They took away their air capabilities, I believe.
Right, the reconnaissance, I think, was
Like,
a big deal. Not
yeah.
knowing how fast the Taliban was coming.
To be clear, when we're talking about this very sensitive issue, which is a very serious issue, the 4 of us are cowards. We have not served in the
big time.
army
Correct.
or military, and we never will because we're cowards. But
Right.
we're talking heads, so we're talking about it. So don't get too mad at us cowards. But it does seem like I don't know. I mean, like he went an angle I didn't think he was going to go when he blamed the Afghans. I am somewhat pleased that he's not going to restart the war, but it was
Well, of
just
course.
insane. It was just insane that he just went straight to blaming the Afghans.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Mark, too, he was trying to gaslight everybody by pretending like people were mad about the decision to leave Afghanistan in general, when it seems like nobody's upset about that. People just thought his exit plan sucked and cost lives.
Right.
So like that was a real like weird
Which
situation where he
is
kept being
still-
like, "Well,
he
we're
should've
not
taken-
going back."
He
right.
should have taken
And
some more.
it's like no
he
one-
should have taken
no
a
one's
lot
mad
more
about that.
blame on the exit strategy, and then gone with that same train of thought. Look, no more American lives. I promise no one's going to get shot or we'll destroy them. Like if he had taken a little bit more blame on how there's 10,000 Afghanistan people in the airport like jumping on planes and falling to their death and stuff like that. Like address that a little bit besides just calling them straight up coward pussies. Like that was the part that was a little bit weird. Like he had like no sensitivity.
It was an
or
odd
sympathy.
tack.
Yeah.
It was
Also,
brutal
like
speech.
Yeah, savage.
Well, I kept like Mean Girls when that girl's giving a speech and she's like, "You don't even go here." That's how I felt like someone should have been yelling at Biden when he's like, "Look, I know the American people, you guys didn't want to be in this war any longer, and you wanted me to get us." And it's like, no, dude, we established that when Obama was around. Like, we're leaving. Everyone knows this, Joe.
It's been a decade.
It's not a question whether or not the war should continue or not.
Today,
Joe.
people are falling off of cargo planes.
And dude, what pissed me off the fucking most,
yeah.
though, is him coming out and suggesting that the reason that they were not able to get everyone out is because some folks didn't want to leave. And that may be true. It may be true that there were some folks that had hopes in the new government, but that's so offensive, being that we have thousands, tens of thousands of people that are on our dime, on our conscience, that we made a promise to, that are gonna die. Yeah. So him saying that the reason we didn't get as many out as we should have is because they didn't want to is such fucking bullshit.
Pat, there are lots of military people saying exactly that and saying that they have been providing names of people who need to be evacuated.
Some
for
didn't
months.
have the opportunity to. They didn't have the means or the flight.
Right.
Like it wasn't like everyone in Afghanistan was like, I'd like to stay.
No, not all. There's people who are being hung out to dry. Like there's a lot of people getting DM'd right now. A lot of soldiers getting DM'd right now, being like, "Hey, remember when we worked together? Will you please help me?"
That's not fair.
I haven't gotten out. I haven't gotten word of gotten out, and they're going to slaughter my family.
Yep.
Not like the military people who have been in Afghanistan needed more stress in this situation. Right. Yeah, because that's helpful. They're the ones now who get to deal with the people who are being stranded. I mean, that's what's terrible. So speaking of that, and the fact that people were pretty upset that he took no accountability on that front, C-17s trended because of this terrifying video. And here's an image of it where Afghans were literally falling to their deaths trying to hang on to giant Air Force cargo planes leaving the Kabul airport. Like there were the planes.
I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? You know,
that video was
September 11th.
That was the parallel. It was like the last time I ever remember anything that shocking on an internet video is like people jumping out of the buildings. And
I thought George Floyd was similar in terms of like how it hit me.
Yeah,
like,
that was
holy shit.
That was bad too, but it was like a close up. That was like this is someone jumping to their death, like or falling to their death. Same thing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they'd rather do that. They'd rather fall crazy to their death.
That's weirder because like 9/11 there was a fire behind them, right? Which happens when there isn't a fucking terrorist attack. People jump out of buildings when they can't get done. These people. Imagine that. Imagine what they're fucking
so
going
scared
through.
of the Taliban.
Scrambling to get in an air.
They're alive, but they might not be, and so they choose essentially certain death holding onto this fucking plane.
Insanity.
Nuts.
Insanity. And that's obviously why there's the high degree of like people being upset with Biden. Like, why didn't you take any accountability for this? That's a tragedy that's happening. At least acknowledge it. So the 25th Amendment also trended because Senator Rick Scott and other Republicans questioned Biden's mental capacity to be commander in chief, but that's not going anywhere because it would have to originate from Vice President Kamala Harris, then clear a Democratic Congress. So
I also think just speaking like bluntly, not like opinion. I think that like that won't go if no Americans get killed based on that speech. It doesn't matter how many Afghanistans get killed now based on that speech. He pivoted. So like if no Americans get shot, there's not going to be a 25th Amendment based on.
He made that clear. Did anybody else get like a weird like?
I thought
their inferior vibe.
Yeah, they sounded like they were a lost cause. Like they're a lost cause. Fuck them, kind of. That's the vibe.
Good riddance.
Yeah,
dude. We all know. I mean, like that, dude. We all fucking know, Joe. We know it sucks that it didn't work out over there. We know everyone in America wants us out of the war. We know you're not the hero that's like bringing that idea to the fucking forefront, bro. I don't get the 25th Amendment thing though. I thought he was sharper than he normally is. To be honest with you,
I thought his
content was garbage.
It was right before the speech. It was trending. I think the speech probably changed the 25th Amendment.
The speech was all right. Some people still were calling. People said the speech was so pathetic.
But everyone's going to call for his head,
his ability,
the whole time.
And it took 6 days to do it.
Yeah,
right. And how long it took. And he went back on vacation. We'll get to that at the end. Camp David. Speaking of the vacation, because it trended because the clocks on the wall were 3 hours apart for London and Moscow, despite them in August only being 2 hours apart. So people were like, is this an old photo or did Camp David have the clocks wrong? What do you guys think?
Or is it a time warp and they're in the future?
Camp David.
I think who gives a fuck about
about Camp David?
Who gives a fuck about the fucking clock being an
like
hour
a
off?
90-year-old caretaker.
It's an old picture. They didn't change the time on the clocks. How many times have you not? Who gives a fuck?
I think it was the clocks were just off because they posted it twice throughout the weekends. Clocks
use
were
the
off
stupid-
both times.
anyway.
That's the stupidest thing related to this whole issue. Who cares?
It is. Yeah, but a trend.
I feel like we have to point out though, just because we got a lot of comments. Look, we're not just shitting on Joe Biden. It's not just his fault. He fucked up the exit. There's no fucking doubt about it. When you fuck up, you got to call the man out.
Right.
He also inherited a shit sandwich from Trump.
Well, we don't have enough
We
time
talked
in the
about it
show.
yesterday. On
We don't
yesterday's
have enough
episode,
time
we
in the
went through
show
the
to
whole
talk about
history.
the history of the 20-year war in
We
depth.
did.
Well, I know we mentioned it, but we're not going to go into the whole history of the 20-year war. We're talking mainly about what's happening now.
Right. It is a news show after all. And fellas, we've made it to the end because finally on Afghanistan, the last thing I wanted to bring to your attentions today, let's take it to the internet with a reminder from the Hard Factor intern team that this is a very global fiasco. Taking it to Chinese state media chiming in at the Global Times, they say, from what happened in Afghanistan, those in Taiwan should perceive that once a war breaks out in the Straits, the island's defense will collapse in hours and the U.S. military won't come to help. As a result, the DPP will quickly surrender. So that's Chinese state media. Back in the USA, Joe Biden is back on vacation at Camp David. And that's today's cup of coffee in the big time.
So they were pretty much saying like, there's no hope for you. Even
They're saying,
from-
China said if
the
you
US,
thought this
they're
was
weak.
fast,
Yeah,
wait till you see what we do
Wait
to
till
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Taliban, huh?
We can beat the Taliban's record. Yeah.
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 If they can do it without a single shot.
China was celebrating.
Yes. They're also probably celebrating the incoming mines in Afghanistan and probably the pipeline that'll go from Iran to China for gas. I mean, big day for China, honestly.
Yeah, great for China. Cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Big stuff for China.
Cool.
That's today's cup of coffee in the big time, which was brought to you today, fellas, by Lightstream.com. If you're like most of us, you carry a balance on your credit cards. And if those cards come with a high interest rate, you need to talk to our friends at Lightstream.com because you don't want to be paying that interest on your credit that's just sitting there. You need to get that paid off. It's the key to your financial freedom, to be able to own your own dollars and cents. Lower your interest rate and save with the credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. Rates start at just 5.93% APR with auto pay and excellent credit. Lightstream believes that people with good credit deserve a better loan experience, and that's exactly what they deliver. You can get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000, and there are absolutely no fees. You can even get the money as soon as the day you apply. And just for our listeners, apply now to get a special interest rate discount and save even more. The only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com/factor. That's lightstream.com/factor. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 5.93% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/factor for more information.
Okay. So enough about the Afghan war and all the hardworking service people, heroes that served in it. Enough about the poor, pitiful Afghanis that are scared for their lives and are clinging to the side of planes, trying to flee the country. Fuck that shit. Let's talk about some important people, people that matter. I'm, of course, talking about American billionaires. Right? Let's get to the good
Joe
stuff.
Biden agrees with that statement. Oh, man.
I'm talking about jealous Jeff Bald Bezos and Emperor Elon Musk, right? Not everything is perfect for them. Okay, guys, let's talk about what's going on with them. Jesus, enough. All right, for example, thanks for asking. For example, starting with Bezos, this poor guy is suing the U.S. government and NASA in particular for not picking up his space company, Blue Origin, in their proposal to build and supply the new lunar landers for NASA's new moon program. Isn't that bullshit? They didn't pick them up.
Is it because they're terrible?
Well, we'll get into it. It's because NASA's a bunch of jerks, right? Instead, NASA went with Elon Musk and SpaceX. Now, before you say, wow, I can't believe a billionaire who owns the second or first biggest newspaper in the U.S. that's in the nation's capital and has his hooks in D.C. politics would sue NASA, a U.S. government-owned agency, because he's bitter. that they picked his younger, hairy-headed rival, maybe you should hear the facts and the details first. You see, Bezos and Blue Origin offered to do the job for $5.99 billion, while SpaceX said they would do the lunar landers for only $2.9 billion. So right there, not going with the more than double the price option is shady. This is the U.S. government we're talking about, and they love to spend money. Strike one. Weird, right? Okay, second.
When you double the rate of your competitor, as somebody who used to bid on contracts a lot for the government,
you're done.
Like you
You're
should
out.
be disqualified on price alone.
You're out. Okay, second.
Especially when you're talking about billions.
Right.
Yes. Okay, second, get this. If that didn't ring your alarms, NASA during the proposal said they might pick two companies since there are going to be two different types of lunar landings. One
at the pressure,
one human and one automatic or whatever. So they said they might go with two different companies, and they just went with SpaceX. They said they might go with two companies, and they just went with one company at less than half the price that has had several successful space-related missions over the company that was going to do a worse job for more than double the money and has no proven track record. Okay, so that's weird. That's why Bezos is suing.
Mark, another weird thing that we covered a little while back. The only reason they said they might go with two is because Bezos and his local representative pressured NASA to say that.
Yeah, well,
to say that they would go with two.
Well, they should have listened, right?
They might have won two.
Should have listened. Okay, so see, Bezos totally legit in the lawsuit already. Leave the guy alone. Forget the federal watchdog agency that investigated Blue Origin's claims and rejected them a few weeks ago as complete nonsense. And also, don't look too far into Bezos penning an open letter to NASA Administrator Bill Nelson last month, offering to knock $2 billion off the price to solve the near-term budgetary issues and come in around the same price as SpaceX. He totally found a legit way to save 50% off the price, and the original bid of $5.99 billion was totally warranted. Both are true.
Right.
It's not what you want with your spaceship. Is we might be able to get it down a little bit.
He's like,
I'll do it for half.
Yeah, we can get it down a little bit.
Turns out we fluffed it by $2 billion.
You said you're going with
caught
Elon. I'll come out of pocket for the difference. What is it? $2 billion.
Yeah.
We could swap out the kind of metals we use on the spaceship.
Dude,
They went way over.
So thirsty.
Little thinner.
He's
Get a little
so
thinner.
thirsty to be in the game. And to be honest, do you want Elon Musk, who is weird and South African and dates Grimes, sending you to space, or do you want the guy that looks like he got dragged along to Jurassic Park, sending you to space?
The guy that looks like a
Elon.
spaceship.
Yeah, you want Elon.
No,
All right. Well. Okay, right. But look, this is rich. Get this. A spokesperson for a Jeff Bezos-owned company had this to say about why they're suing. We firmly believe that the issues identified in this procurement and its outcomes must be addressed to restore fairness, create competition, and ensure a safe return to the moon for America. So Bezos, who loves creating competition, right? The guy that hates monopolies and owns Amazon is complaining about competition not existing in this. And let's play a little video of this bastard.
So I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all this.
You did. You did. He's got
You guys
that
paid for all
lawsuit.
this.
Should just say I have unlimited money.
Yeah, it's like publicly
Why didn't he
announcing
just say
that
do it for free if he loves the space so much? Just do the,
you've been
do the
fucking the
project for free.
moderator's wife. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. This is the first time ever that they're fucking hiring other companies to build our spaceships, and it's a huge step forward for fucking space exploration. And Bezos is making it about ego, bro. He doesn't want part of the team. He wants to be the team.
No.
Okay, so
you'll hear why too, Pat, in a second.
I follow the space trend because obviously, and
the weed,
all of
you put the helmet on for this one.
all of the scientific nerds on Twitter agree that Blue Origin's products suck balls. They're like there's 85 different
they're certainly not
spaceship
twice as good.
builders. Yeah, that are way better than Blue Origin.
God, you don't look Elon Musk in the eyes and say this guy can't build a fucking spaceship. That's what you don't do, because that's what he's meant to do.
There's one more hilarious part to this. So the lawsuit, which has a 110% chance of failure, also has a 110% chance of greatly slowing down Project Artemis, which is the new NASA moon project.
The moon project.
So Bezos, who claims who fuck cares, who claims to love space and is just throwing a temper tantrum like a 3-year-old, is delaying NASA's entire space program.
Just in it for the love of the game, honestly, and
what a piece of shit
to be number one.
Yeah, clearly.
Look, this guy really must hate Elon Musk, who has an issue of his own this week. U.S. auto safety regulators said Monday they opened a formal safety probe into Tesla's driver assistance system, Autopilot, in 765,000 U.S. vehicles built since 2014 after a series of crashes. And you should hear what these crashes are. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said that since January 2018, it has identified 11 crashes in which Tesla models Y, X, S, and 3S that were produced between 2014 and 2021 have, quote, encountered first responder scenes and subsequently struck one or more parked first responder vehicles at the scene.
Jesus.
So, aka Tesla
not good
see
under
flashing
pressure?
lights. No, they see flashing lights and they freak out and they just smash into fire trucks and ambulances and cop cars on the side of the roads.
Oh, if they're in auto drive mode.
Yes.
Like epileptics.
Specifically at night, they just head towards it and smash into these parked cars. So,
Dog on 4th of July, man.
yeah, exactly.
Skittish.
In all 11 of the crashes, the car was engaged in either autopilot or traffic awareness cruise control, which are the car's two semi-autonomous modes. It's not the full driverless mode that's only in some of the cars. One of the cars crashed, involved a Tesla that just drove straight full speed into a parked fire truck, killing the driver instantly. Another incident from this year involved a Tesla rear-ending a parked police cruiser that was conducting a traffic stop at night, which led to a pileup where 2 other police cars were smashed, and in total 5 officers and a canine officer was injured, and then 1 officer was underneath the vehicle for some reason at the time, and the collision, he had to grab onto the car while he was pulled along the highway from the crash, and then a civilian standing on the shoulder of the road got run over by a car and was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Whoops, I was in autopilot mode.
Right. It's tough to tell him you weren't drunk, you know?
Yeah. Boom. They're just fucking smashing into first responder cars, these Teslas, because they're bugged out. So Tesla stock fell over 5% yesterday, and recalls might be coming for almost 1 million Teslas.
Well, and Elon Musk, like, it's funny that he's the guy who's dealing with all of like the AI fuck ups. Like he's going to be the one who's like the pioneer of getting sued over AI, and he's the guy who's like AI is going to kill us one day.
By the way, for sure.
But he's like the pioneer of it. It's
he is
strange
he
situation.
He's wary of it, but he just keeps pushing it, the boundaries.
He loves to sell it.
By the way, one last anecdote: the most in-depth article you will find on the Tesla probe by a landslide is the article in the Washington Post. They're covering it like it's the goddamn Afghan. Bezos is covering the shit out of it.
I normally don't do this, but give special attention.
Oh, God. Every other article is like 2 paragraphs, and the Washington Post had like a 10,000 word article.
Could you imagine being the Tesla beat reporter at WAPO? Bezos is breathing down your neck.
You got to do a good job.
You probably get paid well, though.
You got to be digging dirt is what you're doing. You can't wait for the dirt to come up. You got to dig that dirt, man.
You might as well just make shit up, you know.
Yeah, you might as well crash Teslas on your own.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, Jeff, it happened again. I think we got something down here.
That's the billionaire bastards or boys club.
You know he's mad because Musk reversed his baldness and Elon let his baldness get too out of hand. I'm sorry, Bezos let his baldness get too out of hand. Where if he had reversed it, it would have been too weird.
And now we all know, it's too late.
But Elon got really close. He got very close. Yeah.
Elon's hairline got really far back.
It got bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bezos is gonna go to like another planet and have like a toupee. It was in space that grew my hair back.
It was the atmosphere.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Fuck those guys, both of them.
All right, guys.
It's time for the TikTok International Moment.
That's right, TikTok International Moment. And today we have an all United Kingdom TikTok International Moment today. So let's just dive right into it. Right? You cunts and you wankers. Huh? Right?
Brexit West is back.
Yeah. All right. To Cromwell, England, where an 83-year-old woman fell into a ravine. That's kind of funny. Just an awful thing to happen to anyone, let alone at the age of 83. Maybe she was training for that like cheese rolling race they have over there. Not sure. You see that? You seen that shit? It's crazy.
Yeah. Netflix show about the crazy sports.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The one for that girl always wins, the young.
Yeah.
Her
like
family.
She's like a gypsy. Yeah. So this old woman
cheese rolling gypsies.
It's not a gypsy.
I don't know if she's a gypsy, but she's very agile.
There's a lot of gypsies over
Wes
there.
has a lot of gypsy prejudice. He throws gypsy everywhere.
Anyone that does something sneaky is a gypsy.
Yeah.
Not on my
rolling
watch,
cheese.
gypsy.
That's a
Gotta watch
sneaky
out.
move, rolling cheese all over the place.
Chasing cheese down a hill, that's a
they
big
roll a
gypsy
big
move.
ball of cheese down the hill, and then you have to go. You chase it. You
ever
chase
been to a
the
gypsy
cheese.
wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's most of the wedding.
So this old woman tumbled down a goddamn ravine, and and at the bottom of it there was a stream. Here's what it looked like. That just down that fucking ravine. So just laying there, helpless, a dire situation. So after about an hour, some concerned neighbors noticed she had not returned from her training, and they're like, "Where's that fucking gypsy?" and they called authorities to report her missing, but it was her heroic cat, Piran. Pat, Mark, we were talking about black cats, but this black cat is a lifesaver. He stayed at the top of the ravine, meowing his face off, which got the attention of a passerby who noticed the old woman just soaking away in the stream at the bottom. And rescuers then hoisted her out of the stream and airlifted her to the hospital, where she is said to be in stable condition. All thanks to Piran, who Bodmin police say, saved the day.
Wow.
What are the odds that black cat also tripped her into the ravine?
Right. What are the odds?
If the cat saves her, he'll get a chance to do it again.
He was just testing to see if anyone could hear because he was about to eat her.
No, he was just hungry. It was like an hour past his dinner time, and he was pissed off.
No, that's it. No. In fact, I know what happened to this lady. Does she own Piran?
Yeah, she owned Piran.
Yeah. No, you're exactly correct, Wes. Piran's bowl was empty.
Yeah, Piran's he's famished.
Get up.
Yeah. normally I'm getting my back rubbed and fed fancy feast right about now, but this old broad's laying in the creek. Somebody help me.
100% what happened.
Yeah.
Piran takes the rings off her fingers first.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Hero.
Yeah, he's a real hero.
He is a hero. Nice work, Piran. We know you were just wanting your meal, though.
That's right. We all know. Staying in the UK for an absolute nightmare for a landlord over there. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly went through a college phase where myself and the guys I hung out with pretty much just threw our beer cans and trash like on the floor. And then like once a week we would clean up. Like if there were guests coming over or whatever, it was just a mound of trash and beer cans, Taco Bell wrappers, whatever. It was disgusting, but it was fun. But this hoarder in the UK, an absolute slob, took it to another level, leaving the apartment with over 6,000 beer cans and, quote, a human-sized mound of excrement after not paying rent for a year. Here's the video, and I'm going to warn you, it's graphic, as you will see what Gilliam Webster, the poor bastard tasked with cleaning the apartment, called the Leaning Tower of Pusa.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so here's he's going
cans,
through
pizza boxes.
Yep, there's Leaning Tower of Pusa. That's
That's shit.
that's just
human. Whoa, what's that in the bathtub? That's not shit, is it?
that, I don't know if that's shit or not,
Mold.
but that's the Leaning Tower of Pusa.
Oh no!
Oh, he just shit in the toilet. So what he did is he shit the toilet full, and then he kept shitting on top of it.
Yep.
He shit it to the top, like all the way above the toilet tank. He shit the pile above the toilet tank.
He kept it near the toilet.
Yeah. And then he just kept taking his wiped toilet
Everything
paper
in
roll.
its place.
Yeah, putting it in there. Just shut the door. I just shut the door.
Oh, that place must have smelled.
No, we didn't have roommates. This guy was a fucking loner freak job with mental issues.
Yeah, that guy, he was hammered too. There was lots of beers.
6,000 beer cans. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He actually.
But when he went to the store, didn't he reek?
I don't know if he got it delivered or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's this guy Gilliam, who's like he's actually like worked in wastewater management, which is disgusting. He said he has pretty strong stomach.
Take my work home with me.
Yeah, he said he had pretty strong stomach, but he couldn't take it with this guy. He puked 3 times while cleaning the place, and even spiders got into.
Oh no.
There's no spiders, Mark. But look, there's a spider. There's a can wrapped up in the spider web. So they're saying the spiders took it, but I think this
this guy tossed the can.
Yeah, he just tossed it in the spider webs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He loved it. Yeah.
Yes. So Gilliam said it was really bad. The landlord said he tried.
Drink, Spidey.
Yeah, here you go, Spider.
You're my best friend.
Here's a house. Exactly.
No, get away from the poop pile.
You know you're not supposed to go over there.
Yeah.
Shut the door, Spider. So the landlord said he tried to several times to inspect the apartment. The hoarder was like, I guess, real gregarious and like a smooth talker. So he talked his way out of the inspection.
Nothing to see here.
Charismatic hoarder.
Nah, you don't want to go in there.
I don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste mine. He's got his one hand behind the door with a fucking turd in it.
Yeah.
A charismatic hoarder might
Very
be one of the
charismatic.
funniest personalities I've ever heard of. Like they have no social anxiety, but they just do this shit.
They love hoarding. Leave me alone, the hoard.
Yeah. So he also
Unless his leans around the door, his dick behind the door.
Yeah, he had some problems.
Constantly.
He said he texted the landlord said he texted him when he left. Finally, after he got evicted, I might have left a bit of a mess. So what a dick. Yeah. That leaning Tarapusa was something.
Did he sue him?
No, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he wants anything to do with this guy. I think he just wants him out of the house, and that's the end.
They're gonna
that's all there is
try to
deal with him.
they'll try to send him a bill, but he won't pay it.
No, he's not gonna pay. He's nowhere to be found. And finally, let's get to something that Will and Pat will appreciate because we were talking about breast milk, baby. And hey, Kate, Will and your wife may be missing out on a side business with all that milk. And I'm not talking about perverts who would undoubtedly buy and bathe in it if they could. I'm talking about making jewelry out of breast milk. You believe this shit? So this woman, there she is. Yeah, that's
two babies sucking on her boobs.
She's got twins, baby. That's Allison Hawthorne of We're
She
All.
sure does.
Yeah, she does.
She's a super producer.
Right. She's pumping it out, baby. She's in We're All England. So Allison had twins, like you said, so her tits are just working overtime, and she thought to herself, I got some extra milk in my hands. Maybe I should make some jewelry, which is the thought that you should have when you have extra breast milk. She got that idea. She was experimenting with resin. Like she wanted to do something during the lockdown and keep herself busy. So she started experimenting with resin. And she started making pendants and shit out of her jewelry. She would like break it down into powder, mix it in with the resin, and then she's making these fucking pendants like that. It's
selling them only to her husband?
No. So
who
eventually,
else wants to fucking buy that shit?
well, no. So eventually, people found out about it, and they start sending her their breast milk so she can make pendants for them.
Oh,
This is actually genius.
Yeah, it's great. So she said, quote, I decided that my resolution for a brand new year would be to make jewelry with resin. I started making things like key rings, and she was breastfeeding, and then
it's a great idea. I'm gonna start making cum rings.
This is so kitschy, Mark. It's a great idea. Breast milk's different than cum.
Breast milk's so in these days. The top of the show, like the $1,000 shirts.
Yeah, breast milk and tears is my every night.
Yeah.
I don't need to pay $1,000 for it, but yeah,
Right, but
cum ring Mark. It's cum ring Mark. He's not weird.
It's a promise ring. It's like
from his semen. Do not kink shame, okay?
you could easily do
It's
it with
organic.
resin. What this lady does with resin, you could do. She just throws shit into resin. She's doing.
You think people buy jizz ones?
Oh yeah, you can do.
They send you a bottle of
anything,
jizz?
anything with
You
resin.
make them a ring.
I'm sending you my love.
Baby teeth, she's doing hair, pet ashes.
Really?
Yeah, you can mix any with resin. It'll harden. You can make it a pendant or piece of jewelry out of it. Polish it up.
Serial killers.
And then just and put it around your neck. Yeah. So she says she wants to get into umbilical cords. Next.
Get the fuck out of here!
I swear to God, she said that.
Gross.
Yeah. So that's what she's doing with her free time. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's an entrepreneur.
It's actually a great idea, though.
Any reports on the numbers there, Wes?
No. She's not doing, I don't think she's doing too much.
No.
But that's a nice
She's
looking
not?
pendant. That's
Nobody's
a milky.
buying
That
these?
is a milky pendant.
Who the fuck
I
wants
figured
that
people
shit,
would buy
bro?
these.
Listen, some people they want to. One of the things they said is they want to remember their feeding journey. That's a
Oh my
term.
God, I
feeding
got a
journey.
Bottle of breast milk in the fridge about to turn into fucking.
She'd be better
I can
off
cut
selling
into
her
earrings
used
for you if you want.
panties. Get out of here with this bullshit.
She'd be way better selling
Yeah.
her used panties. Yeah.
Well,
Or just a bottle of breast milk.
This business seems much more like
Oh yeah,
easy to tell your friends
totally
about
less weird.
than used panties. Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'd rather hang out with a used panty chick than a breast milk chick.
You try to
me
surprise your friend. You're like, hey, do me a favor. Don't ask any questions. Squirt some breast milk into a container and just send it to me, okay?
I don't think
I can't tell you why.
with either type of chick.
I wouldn't have a
love it.
problem with either type of chick, but I'd be more cool with the person that just wears the underwear and sends it than the person that does the resin and makes the.
This is creative. That's just straightforward. I mean, that's an old.
I mean, going on a jog and then and then just pretty creative.
This has got some
Charging
creativity to
extra.
it.
Doing a triathlon in a pair of undies.
It was a hot day that day.
I'm with Mark
Get
Penny Girl.
creative, too.
It's creative.
Yeah. So that's the TikTok International moment, and that was brought to you guys by Freshly. Are you guys stressed? You tired? Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Just don't feel like cooking? Yeah, me either. It's a pain in the ass and cleanup sucks, but you don't have to eat like shit because you don't want to cook. Freshly says food that's fast doesn't have to be fast, and Freshly offers quality meals without the hard work of prepping, cooking, and cleaning. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered right to your door. No cooking required. Grocery shopping and cooking can be a pain, especially right now. With Freshly, you don't have to. Your meals are cooked and fresh every week, so you keep your fridge stocked up, skip the trip to the store. Freshly won't leave you hanging like the empty shelves at the grocery store did. Ordering is easy. Visit Freshly.com. Choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like steak peppercorn, sausage baked penny, which is delicious, chicken pesto. It can fit your lifestyle, the variety of plans, meals, quick, dietary needs, preferences, tastes, all that stuff. Family size. And now our listeners can try Freshly for just $6.16 per meal. Stop searching the internet for healthy food near me every night and start living life freshly. And save yourself a bunch of money too, frankly. Your meals are always delivered fresh, never frozen, ready to eat, just 3 minutes. With new meals added each week, you're never going to get bored. Right now, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/heartfactor. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/heartfactor for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/heartfactor to get $40 off your first 2 orders.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Okay, guys. I got a question for you. You know, sometimes when a news story seems to be just like following you around the internet, and even though you're like, whatever, I'm not clicking that, it just seems to like be there around every corner saying like, hey, I thought you were going to click me back there. And you're like, no, I'm not. But it just keeps following you until you just relent.
I think that's actually Google just like
Yeah.
knowing that I'll click on any space thing eventually once they show it to me enough times.
That's proprietary.
Yeah, well, they got your number, Will. And that happened to me, but it wasn't space related, guys. This one happened to be from the Daily Beast, where the headline was, quote, she quit being an ICU nurse to make 6 figures on OnlyFans.
You didn't click that the first time?
Oh, yeah, that plagued you for 6 times before you clicked it?
Well, I'll tell you why. I didn't want to
That's
fucking
a pretty
read it.
nice thumbnail to be plagued by.
I didn't want to read about how some hot chick makes way more
drop
money than I ever
everything?
will.
Jesus. Can you send me that link later?
Hold my meetings. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's a hot thumbnail. It really is. But no, I didn't want to get depressed. I didn't want to be like, oh shit, okay, look at the money I'll never make because I'm not a hot chick. And
That's what you were
simps
thinking,
don't want
honestly?
me.
I don't believe you.
Simps don't want me. Meet Allie Rae, guys. Allie Rae is an insanely
Yes,
hot
please.
37-year-old mother of 3.
She's 37?
Yeah, she's 37. She made a
Mother
bunch
of 3 with that
Mhm.
body? Wow.
big time. Yeah,
That's
I don't
impressive.
believe you.
she defies age. It's crazy. So she made a bunch of suspect decisions in the early part of the story, like joining the Navy at 17. Right, that's a tough one. Then getting married at
legal?
18. It is with parental consent.
Okay.
Getting married at 18 and popping out 2 kids, like at 19 and 20. Right.
Wow.
She was stationed in New Orleans. She ended up leaving the Navy in 2006 after Katrina to study nursing, and she then went into, of course, labor and delivery, because the number one thing pregnant women who feel enormous and just shit themselves in a room full of strangers want to see is a knockout holding the gauze as they get their vaginas stitched up. But she fit in
Yeah,
great
she's
there.
way too hot for that job.
She's way too fucking hot, right? So she described her 14-hour shifts as a nurse as, quote, taxing on my body. And she's talking about it in a way where it's good. It's a good day to be the tax collector, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah?
Yeah. So
She working with blind doctors? She didn't get snatched up? How long was she a nurse?
she was, dude. She's been married since
She must-
like 18. She's been
She
with the
must
same
have given
man.
natural birth, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It didn't say.
I don't see a scar there.
No, yeah, she must. Well, she was young. Things bounce back quicker when you're younger. Allie Rae was working in the neonatal intensive care unit of the hospital, tending to sick babies. And I guess that was really.
Fathers were like, "Oh, my kid's sick.
Yeah,
I don't think
he's
he's
sick.
blue. He's turning blue."
I love
He's
him.
gonna get born again. Is that even possible? Here he is.
Better go back to the hospital, sweetie.
But I guess she was stressed, so she quote started posting bikini pics on IG to blow off some steam. That's what she claims. So she posted a little bit on the Chive, and she was just like, I just had to blow off some steam, put my hot body out there. But unfortunately, guys, unfortunately, just like bees make their way to honey, haters make their way to social media of their unbelievably hot coworker and hate them right out of a job, because that's exactly what happened. So some nosy nurses, I guess, at the hospital found her IG, and this was in I think March 2020.
And it had an OnlyFans link on there.
No, this is pre OnlyFans. She hadn't done the
Just
OnlyFans
bikini
yet.
pics.
It was something like this. Really interesting bikini.
Yeah, that would piss me off if I was working with her.
That'd make you pretty mad, right?
That upset you?
It's pissing me off right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's posting photos of that heavily taxed body.
What Pat just played for us is just a silent clip of her just shaking her body just in front of her very fit
It's her letting off some
Fit.
steam.
body in a two-piece bikini, just shaking it to the camera.
Just cutting loose after work.
Yeah,
I can see why Pat was avoiding this article.
What are you doing to me? I'm at my parents' house.
All right, we'll just stand by, Wesley. So,
Sir, your child is fine. You get out of the sick wing.
Yeah,
are you sure?
people are
No, he's
dropping their
not.
kids on the floor. Look at the lump on this kid's head.
I could have sworn you gave me like a pamphlet or something. I must have dropped it when he was born. So she got a warning from the hospital staff when they found her IG, which kind of pissed her off in the first place, but it was just a warning. And I'm sure an awkward conversation with a male coworker who's like, it's just a little bit too hot. You're blowing off a little bit too much steam. So
Too much.
Flash forward a year later, March 2021, and those same nosy bitches who found her IG found her OnlyFans page and escalated things, and the hospital gave her the ultimatum: stop selling the girlfriend experience and nudes to monthly Sim subscribers or lose your job. So she quit. And she started the month, guys, her first month as an
Jesus
OnlyFans
Christ, dude.
creator.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Bringing in about $8,000 a month, which
Yeah,
is
she's
really
gonna do good.
good, right?
Yeah, she's gonna do real good. These
do
pictures
fine.
you're showing us are evidence that she will do very well.
She's doing fine, right? So she described that $8,000 by saying, quote, to see that much money come in with such little
Bite
effort.
this lip.
And then she trailed
She's
off.
gonna be a millionaire.
I know. Well, okay. So once she got that first $8,000, she got a taste of the 8, right? Naturally, her feed got hotter and dirtier and nastier,
Oh,
right?
man.
And she started throwing in self-inflicted finger blast videos.
Whoa.
And then she
Whoa.
upgraded to husband POV blowy videos.
Whoa.
And now, guys,
come on.
anyone want to guess what she's pulling down a month on average? And this is verified by the Daily Beast.
25 to 50K.
Okay.
500,000.
Yeah, 100K.
She's averaging between $65,000 and $75,000 a month.
That's low.
She's
She-
worth every
she's
penny.
got room to grow. She's
think
got
so?
room to grow. Wow.
Here's a little tidbit
God
from her
almighty.
OnlyFans splash page. So if you were to go to her OnlyFans page, here's what you see. Not that you would. Hey, cutie. Glad you've landed here. Outside of my OnlyFans, I'm just your average girl next door. I'm a wife, a mom, and a full-time ICU nurse who has a naughty little secret. This page was started so I could share the behind-the-scenes version of my life through pics and videos, the side of me that no one knows about. This is me, my life raw and uncut. I don't spam you. This is an XXX rated account for 18
It's all
plus
good posts.
only.
No spam posts.
Yep. What you see with me is what you get. So come see you inside and let's play. I look forward to turning you on. Guys, so on top of that, the 65 to 75. She also has an Amazon list, which is listed on the bottom of her OnlyFans, which has things like a $700 hair dryer, $900 luggage, 2020 MacBook Pro, and a $208 vibrator.
Well, I mean, I bet
What?
she gets a bot. The
What is
the
that's for her?
vibrators.
Oh, it's a gift list for
It's
her?
just like a baby registry for no baby.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting a
God.
bot. Yeah,
It's for
Yeah.
guys to buy.
People
stuff.
are buying her cars.
Big
I
time.
mean, she's getting lots of gifts.
A MacBook Pro on your fucking
I
wish
bet if
list?
I bet if they did like a study when she was a nurse, that was like the highest rate of sick kids in the country, sick babies, like a mile.
Well, she was in the NICU, so like dads
Yeah.
are like forcing labor early.
Oh yeah,
No, it's coming early.
just scaring their wives.
Guys,
He
no,
was 5 minutes early. Get her in that NICU.
I think he needs the intensive care unit. No. So, guys, she's not the only one crushing it on OnlyFans. Also crushing it is Bhad Bhabie, perhaps best known for her platinum single "Hi Bitch."
Oh yes,
Of which yours truly, by the way, is entitled to a platinum plaque of, if I want to pay the $600 cost for the plaque. But
is this cash? This is Cash Me Outside, right?
this is Cash Me Outside, also known as the
about that?
Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil. She took to OnlyFans the day after, or the day she turned 18, and is officially out of the music business from showing off her barely legal body. And she recently said of her OnlyFans income, quote, "I mean, I could retire right now if I wanted to." She's 18 years old. So this is the girl that got famous for being a middle school principal's worst nightmare and then challenging
to her mom,
middle-aged women in a live studio audience to a fight in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Then didn't she like not? She doesn't show anything though, right? She just like she's like.
I wouldn't know from personal experience, Will, but she shows it.
Oh, okay. Oh, she shows it, huh?
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but
What?
there was, I believe, I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I believe on the Discord, her first few pics slipped and they were just lingerie. The first weekend, she didn't show anything.
Right. That was the first weekend. But things have changed from what I hear. Guys,
Something you might be able to get on patreon.com/hardfactor, legal binding. We may or may not have
totally
seen those
legal.
pics.
She's making so much money from OnlyFans. Like, right. So she got famous from being a problem child to a record deal to her OnlyFans, where she literally will never have a job in her whole life. She'll go from being a scared straight contender to the grave, being richer than you or I, and never having known the pain.
She made $1 million the first week, right?
Oh, first week. Yes. She made
First
in the
week,
first
she made
6
$1 million.
hours.
Yeah.
In the first 6
Bhabie?
hours.
Jesus.
Yeah, because she's got a rack, Wes.
Oh,
She's
yeah?
got a rack, and everyone hates her, so they wanted to see her big rack because she's such a menace.
Yeah, they
And her
screenshot it
boobs are also a menace.
and just yell
I
at her.
hate her. I hate her.
Hate what you do to me.
Hate her.
Anyway, guys, I've also heard that OnlyFans' discovery tool is trash. So it's onlyfans.com/Allie Rae if you want to check that out. No free
Are you
ads.
getting paid by her? Yeah.
Well, but I'm sure we could talk her into a West subscription, maybe get a desk involved. She
You might be
takes
able to talk her into a strip.
she takes suggestions.
West
Yeah,
Wednesdays where she blasts herself on a desk every Wednesday.
Do it for Wes.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. That's the show.
Be an honor.
Thank you so much for listening.
It's a horny segment.
Hey,
really
if you
was.
want to jump in, we needed something light at the end of the war talk, right? If you guys want to jump in on trivia, it's this Friday.
Stretching out.
Wes can't wait to get off the air.
Trivia
And don't tube in us. Remember to turn off your camera.
Yep. Get your little tape. Put your little tape over your thing there, Wes.
Oh, well.
Yeah. If you want to join the Patreon, sit in the car tier. There's trivia this weekend on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a fantastic, fun game where we all play. We man a team, and it's excellent. Anyway, that being said, give us follows on social media. Please support the merch, and have a great fucking day.